Okay, so yeah, I really like that one super weird magical girl anime that's airing right now. I may have binge read all the chapters of the manga after watching the anime, got violently sick as karmic punishment for having awful taste, and then had a breakdown when I realized there are no physical English copies for me to put on my beloved Yuri bookshelf. It's been an eventful month. But before I get into a weird little rant about how this show struck me so hard, I want to clarify that this isn't an in-depth analysis of the series. Neither the anime or manga are complete, and on top of that, the story handles a lot of topics that I do not have the mental capacity to break down in a nuanced way. That makes it sound like this series is super deep. It's not. It's mostly a silly comedy about young lesbians embracing their inner freak, but if you're a depraved weirdo like me, you see a lot of merit in a story like this. This video is simply a speed paint commentary to get some brain rot out of my system, and even then I don't really tout my in-depth analysis videos to be super academic. Another thing I want to say before I move forward is that the series is very much not for kids despite its bright colors and magical girlness. I also don't really advertise my videos as being for children, despite the fact that I'm aware of a decent subsect of my audience who are younger than I'm comfortable with. I want to reiterate that this video, and subsequently my channel, aren't intended for younger viewers. If you are on the younger side, I can't stop you from being here because that's not how the internet works, but I'd rather lay out my boundaries clearly instead of tiptoeing around something that's made me feel more and more uncomfortable as this channel continues to gain mild traction for some reason. With all that housekeeping out of the way, allow me to indulge in a very unprofessional appraisal of gushing over magical girls. 1. The plot. For those of you who aren't in the know, Gushing Over Magical Girls, aka Maho Shoujo ni Akogarete, aka Maho Ako as it's often shortened to, is an anime and manga series about a girl named Utena Hiragi. She's your average girl-fail middle schooler who loves magical girls so much it makes her look fucking stupid. The city she lives in is protected by the Tres Magia, a trio of magical girls who Utena is immensely enamored with. There's something about a magical girl's unwavering determination to face evil despite turmoil that lights a spark in Utena's soul. One day, a mascot character named Venalita approaches Utena and bestows upon her the power to transform. Utena is ecstatic, only to realize that, oh god, oh fuck, she's actually a really scantily clad villain. Venalita has tricked her into joining their evil organization and pretty much blackmails Utena into fighting the magical girls she claims to love so much. But something unexpected happens as a result of this. Utena realizes that her obsession with magical girls overcoming adversity is not something pure and wholesome like she thought. It's actually somewhat kinky. Yes, being a villain has indeed triggered Utena's sexual awakening into Dami-Mommy mode. Utena, also known now as the devious Magia Baser, learns to embrace her role of being the Saturday cartoon villain that torments the heroes in new and fun and horny ways. She realizes that this acceptance of her true nature only makes her a more confident person and more powerful villain. This power also pushes her new friends and enemies to their absolute limit, in both the silly battling way and, the sex way. I can't believe I fucking wrote that. 2. Uh-oh, silly. Now, there are probably a good amount of you saying, hold up, this bitch is a middle schooler? And, yep, she indeed is. Wait until they introduce the 9-year-old with a vague mommy fetish and dollhouse vibe. And then there's the fact that a lot of the spicy shit is dubcon at absolute best. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die right here and now. This is the end of me. I'm gonna be real. The age of the characters coupled with the spicy stuff is the ultimate filter for anyone thinking to get into this series. It's not for everyone, and like I mentioned earlier, it's definitely not for children. Actually, if you're still here and under 18, respectfully, get out of here. Do your homework, bestie. It's due tomorrow. Anyways, first of all, Magia Baser is not real. She cannot hurt you. I also highly doubt this weird niche magical girl fetish series is going to turn someone into a real-life criminal. If you believe that liking Maho Ako makes me an irredeemable freak, I will die on that hill, I guess. But what I find personally refreshing about Maho Ako is that it's not horny because it wants people to get sexual pleasure from it. The story often makes use of its spicy scenes to progress the plot and delve into the characters. A lot of the time you're overlooking the fanservice-y shit in these moments because interesting plot stuff is happening. Actually, the interesting plot stuff is happening because of the fanservice. This isn't one of those "I watch hentai for the plot" type shows that anime dude bros joke about. This is a genuinely interesting narrative with a massive serving of kink and crazy on the side. If I could compare Maho Ako to any other series I love, it would probably be to Sex Education, strangely enough. It's one of my favorite TV shows in general, and while Sex Ed is a lot more mature and respectful in its depictions of teenage sexual awakenings, it and Maho Ako still share an underlying heart to them that make them more than just a funny show with sex in it. Both series have perfect comedic timing and take advantage of their premises to squeeze out as many self-aware sex jokes as possible. Humor is subjective, so both shows aren't going to be for everyone, but they're definitely for me. I will say that Maho Ako does appeal to me more on an aesthetic sense than Sex Education does. I love me some bright, colorful, crazy shit, and Maho Ako delivers that in strides by being a loving parody of the magical girl genre. You can tell that the creator, Ononaka Akihiro, absolutely loves magical girls. The character designs alone are a testament to his love for all the classic tropes in magical girl outfits. The base designs of Tres Magia are simple and enticing. The color-coded nature of their default looks echo back to the classic designs of the Sailor Senshi. Meanwhile, the added frills, bows, and details are much more in line with contemporary magical girl designs. On the other hand, the villain outfit designs are a lot more thematic. Each girl who works for the evil organization Enormita has a main theme that dictates their outfit and weapon of choice. Magia Baser has the dominatrix leather look, Leopard is given a military theme, Nido Alice has an obvious Alice in Wonderland vibe, and so on. Each of these themes matches what the characters wish to get out of being an Enormita, and their weapons and fighting styles perfectly complement each girl's personality. As the manga story progresses, even the magical girls are able to unlock forms that are as unique and thematic as the villain designs, thus feeding into the joy and anticipation of characters reaching new strengths and seeing how that will translate visually. This enthusiasm for magical girl aesthetics and powers is earnestly channeled through Utena's character. The almost juvenile nature of her actions and the intentions behind them enters Saturday cartoon villain territory. It's often emphasized that Utena does not care about world domination or destruction or anything like that. She simply wants to use her powers to push magical girls to their absolute limit. In classic kids' cartoon fashion, she always flees the battle when she or her precious magical girls have gotten enough out of it. Deadass, her favorite part of being a villain is when magical girls are able to blast her off into a little star, Team Rocket style. Utena's love for magical girls is honestly infectious. Anytime a new character or form is revealed, she absolutely loses her shit, and I can't blame her for it. Her love for magical girls ends up extending to her love for girls in general. And as the story progresses, budding romances between the characters blossom and evolve in interesting ways. It turns Maho Ako into one of the most engaging pieces of Yuri I've ever seen. 3. Unconventional Yuri swag. Something that I haven't gotten into much on this channel is my love for collecting and reading Yuri manga. My Yuri bookshelf is my pride and joy, and finding new series to add to it that I really enjoy make me endlessly happy. The thing is, Yuri can get kinda samey. It's a lot of, oh no, we're both high school girls and this relationship is so wrong, but it feels so right, and yeah, I get it. I love me some good Yuri angst, but sometimes I want to forget that gay people face discrimination. It's nice to sometimes explore worlds where gay people are freely allowed to indulge in different sides of themselves without feeling like they'll end up being hate crimed for it. In that vein, my favorite Yuri series have often been the very horny ones. If you're over 18 and I've talked to you about Yuri, I've most definitely thrown in a recommendation of Asumi-chan is interested in lesbian brothels, which I think Maho Ako has surpassed in my heart due to its aforementioned absurdity, but they're still very close together as being some of my favorite Yuri. Either way, there's something freeing about seeing queer female characters being unladylike in the horny sense that feels incredibly validating to me as a lesbian who enjoys smut in the most unholy sense. It's strange because when I hear predominantly straight or male Yuri fans talk about the Yuri they like, they often mention the soft feel-good vibes or the comfort of wholesome Yuri, and I just can't find myself relating at all. As someone who engages with a lot of Yuri Twitter, I find that most lesbian Yuri fans tend to be absolutely head over heels for NSFW Yuri manhwa like Sadistic Beauty Side Story, Program Me, What Does the Fox Say, and so many others. Oh my god. I say it's strange because lesbians are often a fetish for straight guys, but here we are in the anime, manga, and manhwa world seeing a flip in priority among male and female Yuri fans. That's not something I have the time to analyze in depth right now, it's just a little observation, so we're just gonna get back to the personal stuff. So for me specifically as a Yuri collector, I love it when Yuri series aren't afraid to allow their girls to be ugly, messy failures. It's comforting in a way. It's why Yuri comedy series tend to be my absolute favorites. And then the comedy aspect often ends up making the romantic moments feel all the more heartfelt. Of course, in the case of Maho Ako, there's still weird kink stuff attached to it, but weird kink and real love are not mutually exclusive. I don't want to get into it too deeply since this is essentially my way of recommending the series to you, but the relationship between Utena and Kiwi is genuinely compelling. Kiwi is almost overbearing in the way that she expresses her love for Utena. Other characters see it as annoying or hyperbolic, but Utena genuinely takes Kiwi's feelings for her seriously. There's a sweetness in the way Utena allows Kiwi to be her authentic self, and as the story progresses, you can see a lot of depth in the love Kiwi feels. It's wonderfully refreshing and it makes you root for their relationship. Maho Ako not only succeeds as a hilarious parody of magical girl shows, it's also a heartfelt story about lesbian sexual awakenings and figuring out how sex and kink play a role in romantic relationships if they play a role at all. And I just think that's super fucking neat. 4. Conclusion. If anything I said sounds interesting to you, then I highly recommend checking out Gushing Over Magical Girls anime and manga. The anime's voice cast is beyond fantastic, and while the animation quality has taken a bit of a dip from the start, I still suggest you check it out just so we can get a season 2, because man does the story ramp up from the first arc. But if you just can't wait, the manga itself is an absolute riot. It may not have the fantastic line delivery of the voice actresses, but the artwork is incredibly bold and charming, and the comedic timing is still as on point as the anime. I hope I was able to lay out in decent enough terms that this story has a lot of merit to it, despite its egregious anime-isms. Sometimes good schlock is just what the doctor ordered. Unless you're me, and the good schlock got you violently sick, and writing about it made you feel better. As always though, links to my social media, store, and commission prices are in the description below, so if you ever feel inclined to support my work, that's the place to go. Other than that, there's really not much I can say except thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, whatever the hell that may be. Bye!